All right, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra, and we are still basking in the euphoria of Christmas celebration. How are you today? My name is Nonye Nwokoye, welcoming you to the show, and as usual we take up with, or we start with the press review. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra 30th December episode. All right, you're welcome to the press review, and this morning we are being joined by Bonnie Ozo Nkwako. Bonnie Ozo Nkwako is a public affairs analyst, of course, my former PG. You're welcome to the studios of Good Morning Anambra.
Welcome as usual, beautiful, elegant Nonye. Yeah, she's my wife, so I can pour all sorts of encomiums on her.
All right, it's good to have you. You're welcome. We start with the stories making the headlines on ABS website. Let's see some of the stories trending on ABS website. Anambra State government to prosecute people burning tires on tarred roads. Bishop Okoye urges knights to be worthy soldiers of Christ. Ugo Okenye 2024 octogenarians in Okuzo community receive a free Medicare. FG to establish mobile courts at airports. Israeli attacks kill more civilians in Gaza. Soludo inaugurates school buildings at Community High School, Akweze. FG blames vandalism of power transmission equipment for failure to improve power supply. All right, a lot of stories, but I think the first story, whether it catches your interest, it has caught mine.
Yes, it caught my interest. The plan by Anambra State government to prosecute people burning tires on tarred roads is timely. You see, we complain of lack of infrastructure, we complain of lack of roads, we complain of this and that, but when government puts some of these things in place, the few ones that government put in place, we also go to destroy them. Why must people continue burning tires on tarred roads? Several warnings have been issued that people should stop this, that it wears off the road, because the spot where these tires are burned, when rain comes, the erosion starts from there. The wears of the road start from those portions, and by the time you know it, potholes will be developed here and there. The road that is expected to last for 20 years will not even last up to 5 years. And we'll go back to blame government for poor quality, blame government that these roads are not of standard. Whereas it was due to uncontrolled human activities that made this road to wear off.
I just hope the citizens will hearken to this call, because in the news this morning, the government took time to explain what these tires does when you burn them on the roads, and the extent of damage, the subsequent potholes that we experience on our roads. So I just hope
yes,
because they put extra effort this year in explaining. There are some terms I saw there.
That is where the media comes in. Let's continue the sensitization, not just getting it in the news. There should be jingles, about that. And again, the town union. This is where the town union should play, a pivotal role here. You have your vigilante. You have your town security. Therefore, these people should be energized. They should be, encouraged to do the needful. Look out for the people burning these tires. In fact, if prevent the action, prevent the crime before it's being committed. So the town union should take up this role. And again, the security agencies should also be at alert to apprehend the perpetrators of this, and they should mean to pay appropriate fine so that the proceeds from this fine can be used to, repair the damages.
All right, moving on, we see FG to establish mobile courts at airports. I wonder what actually is going on with our airports today.
Yes, a lot of touting, a lot of illegal activities going on at the airports. People complain of missing luggages. People complain of extortion. People complain of even some airport taxis that are not registered. You will not know that these people are not registered, and they come there under the guise of airport taximen to commit all sorts of criminal activities. Therefore, if you apprehend these people and start taking them to conventional court, it will delay the process. The call or the plan for establishment of mobile court in this airport is a welcome development, so that some of these things can be nipped in the bud.
All right, quickly, let's move now to the first paper for review. Let's see the first paper, the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune this morning, we have so many stories making their headlines. First banner headline we are seeing says, despite 11 trillion naira contribution to GDP, high building materials caused heightened housing shortage in 2024. Nigeria's AFCFTA participation threatened by $2 billion Chinese currency deal report. Wike tackles Odele over private estate comment. Other stories, 2024, what a year for integrated marketing communication. Foreign domestic transactions surged by 3.23 trillion naira in 1 year. Nigeria's economy too fragile for fully decentralized electricity market, CPPE warns. And of course, troops arrest Bello, Toji's female communication career in Zamfara. Why we defer the nationwide strike till January, that's coming from ASU. Okay, Lagos will hold elections in 20 local governments, 37 LCDAs, says APC chairman. NAS Joint Appropriation Committee sets January 31 date to present report on 2025 budget. All right. I don't know which of the stories you'll be looking at.
Let me take the one on the trade union. Why we deferred nationwide strike by ASU. Yes, I have to take this story because that's my constituency.
All right.
And government is at it again. Recall in the past, a lot of agreements reached between government and the labor unions in university, ASU, SANU, NASU, NAT. Most of these agreements, some were partially implemented, some were not implemented at all. And now, ASU is issuing warning again. Why this strike was deferred to January is still to allow government, because government will always claim we need more time to do so and so. So let government be given more time to do whatever they want to do. And I tell you, it's not only ASU that is planning to down tools, SANU, NASU, NAT are also planning to do same. Recall the issue of the end allowances that were supposed to, that was allegedly captured in 2023 budget. We're not talking about 2024, we're talking about 2023 budget. This money was allegedly captured there. It was not implemented, and it is a kind of promise. And how long will the labor unions keep on waiting for these promises to be actualized? You know that your take-home pay can no longer take you home these days. Everything is on the increase. Everything has skyrocketed, but yet the salary you earn is stagnated. It is still the same thing you're earning that you are still earning. Apart from the recent, the wage award, which you know how it was implemented haphazardly. Some months of those wage awards were not paid. Some months of areas of, the 25% promised, university workers and lecturers were not implemented. Therefore, I urge the stakeholders, the parents, other relevant stakeholders that will always want to come out to cry when this matter starts. They should cry now. They should take government to do the needful. Not when the lecturers and non-teaching staff down tools, then people will start attacking them. But now they are shouting, they are trying to make their points known. They are saying that so and so things has not been done. So people should not keep quiet. Even you journalists should not keep quiet. You should keep on, promoting this cause. As no me or honor. When one sector is taken care of, that is a hope for another sector to also be taken care of. And we're all going to the same market. We're all in the same business. Therefore, what is source for the goose is also source for the gander.
All right. Lagos will hold elections in 20 local governments, 37 LCDs. Why I'm bringing this up is that this year actually is equally a very important year for Anambra State. It's our election year too. So I don't know what you have to tell maybe the electoral body concerning the upcoming elections in Osun State, sorry, Lagos State. And
yes,
of course, it's coming. Our own is equally coming up.
Yeah, we had our own local government elections, and it was peaceful. It was adjudged to be peaceful, and that was what was expected because the grassroots, that government that is closer to the grassroots, need to be fully democratized. Under a democratic local government administration, you see that development will get nearer to the grassroots than caretaker or than other appointments. It happened in the past. It was when there was democracy at local government level. The councillor can say he built culvert, he built this and so in his community. But you see that when it was when they were all appointed, the mandates to do some of these programs may not be there. Lagos should follow Anambra example. They're saying they will hold election in this and other developmental areas. You know that the local governments are captured in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So Lagos state governments should be careful not to violate the law because there are local governments in Lagos that were captured in the Nigerian Constitution. There are others that are not captured, and that's why they call them development area, something like that. So you have to distinguish where you are actually holding, democratic elections and where you are appointing people, so that you don't go back to Supreme Court again and it will still be Lagos state government versus federal government. Remember, they call this matter started even under Obasanjo administration when Lagos state government went ahead to create additional local government areas without recourse, to the rule. And the federal government in the court won that this, local government that were created were against the Constitution. So they now turn it and give it another name.
All right, let's move on. The Daily Trust is next in a lineup of papers to be reviewed. Allegations against Nigeria, monarchs for Niger military ruler with riders there, border communities, others hate Chiani. His claims lack evidence, Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, I think it's Niger military ruler.
Yeah, the Niger military junta.
Now, 179 die in South Korea's plane crash. Don't expect 2025 budget passage before January 31. That's coming from the Senate. How tears from Abuja demolitions blood weakens efforts in 2024. Army destroys 20 illegal refineries, recovers 90,000 liters of fuel. High operating costs, multiple taxes, for telecom sector. Chad holds election after 3-year military rule. And of course, the picture in front of the paper reads, Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State welcomes additional 150 foreign postgraduate scholarship beneficiaries who completed their master's degrees at the University of Sharda, India. And flight disruptions, Sunset Airport's operations extended to 10 p.m. Okay, these are some of the stories making their headlines on Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, more news for Niger military ruler. You remember it was last year that the military junta in Niger Republic took over power. And in as much as we condemn military coups, we condemn military administration, but sometimes we go to the drawing board. Why will these guys keep on coming? What are their excuses for coming? If the civilian administration in Niger was doing good and they done what they're supposed to do, would these guys have come to take over power? Now it has happened. Remember the role France, is playing in some of these, conflict areas. Sometimes the African countries, or particularly the West African countries, are used as a place where the major powers in the West, America, UK, and France on one side, then Russia, China on the other side. So West Africa is now seen as a place where they come to fight a proxy war. So it's high time we stop this. Then I advise Nigerian government, I've always said this, let them tackle the issue of Nigeria with diplomacy. We don't want more problems. We don't want infiltration of terrorists from our neighbors to continue coming into Nigeria. They should dialogue with these people in Nigeria Republic who are at the helm of affairs, and mount pressure on them. Even ECOWAS should mount pressure on them to democratize, to bring out their timetable for handover to next, civilian administration, instead of the way they are doing it now, trying to say who is right and who is wrong. This time for blame game has passed. It is time to look at the future of the Niger Republic and come to a round table and ask these people to bring out a timetable. Let us assist you, whether through funding or through other means, so that you, as soon as possible, hand over to a democratically elected government in that country.
All right, look at this story. Army destroys 20 illegal refineries, recovers 90,000 liters of fuel. This story coming from a country where the prices of petrol and whatever had gone up so high. And what do you think will happen, or the effect of this to the fuel scarcity, or sorry, the high cost of fuel that we experience in the country today?
We are told that when subsidy is removed, then smuggling will stop. Because these people that smuggle our products, particularly those that smuggle across the border, they are benefiting from the subsidy. They are smuggling subsidized products, and they go to these countries and sell it and make exorbitant gain. But now, we're in subsidy, this smuggling is still there. The army has destroyed this and that, recovered this and that. We say kudos to the army, but we still need more to be done in this sector. This smuggling, they are not done in 4-liter jerry cans. They are done using fleet of trailers. This fleet of trailers pass through several checkpoints. From here, from this studio to Onitsha, you know the number of checkpoints you see. This is also applicable in the routes these smugglers take. So something is wrong at these checkpoints. You know that men of civil defense are also involved in checkmating this smuggling. So what are they doing? What is the command doing to stop this? Otherwise, we are still saying the same thing every time. There's corruption in the system. The number of kilometers these trailers move from one border to the other for those taking the thing outside the country, it's not something that you just move from here to Akaka. No. So they pass several checkpoints and they still succeed in this business. So it's an indictment on whoever that mounting security at this places.
Security architecture of the nation. All right, let's see. The Daily Independent newspaper is next in the lineup. Let's see stories. 2025 budget. FGM asks 55.5 billion naira for presidential air fleet. Proposes 8.6 billion naira to repair air navigational equipment. NSIB plans 2 billion naira for construction of Yola Delta offices. Okay, airlines not only cause of flight delays, cancellation, that's coming from experts. Serap asked Tinubu, Shetima, others to make asset declaration public. And of course, investigation underway in South Korea plane crash that kills 179. Lagos government heads to Supreme Court over acquittal of doctor in sexual assault conviction. Nigerian Navy capable of building world-class ships, says CNS. Wike replies Odele says he lacks integrity expected of elder statesman. And of course, new listings, bank recapitalizations shaped NGX growth in 2024. Market cap rises to 61.944 trillion naira. And of course, the last but not the least, Lagos to conduct LG poll in 20 LGAs, 37 LCDAs in 2025, APC speaking. All right, so many stories from the Daily Independent. Which one are we looking at?
Yes, the unfortunate incidents that occurred in South Korea. You see, I always feel pained when lives are lost in these circumstances. You know, about 179 lives lost over the South Korean.
I think it's just two survivors, and who knows their state.
Even those that survived, some will be water dead because somebody survived, you take them to hospital, and you don't know the state. So as this goes on, the number of the death will be, increasing. You know, it's unfortunately the plane it's crash landed. You know, it had issues with landing gear, something like that, and these people just their lives wasted. So it's not a good, story to end the year with. So I really, commiserate with the government and the people of South Korea over this unfortunate incident. I recall a few days to that, there was also an Azerbaijan passenger airline that was allegedly, down by a Russian drone, because it entered Russian airspace. It was like the Russian, air defense system. They, mistook the aircraft to be, a Ukrainian, aircraft coming in to attack Russia. So that is the information we are getting. But even the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, he sent condolence to the victims. He sympathized with the victims, but he has not owned up that this was done by Russia. But from little, information we are getting from, the shrapnel, the, holes on the plane, from all sides of the plane, you can see that it was an external object. External object hit the plane, and this external object that hit the plane happened in Russian territory. Therefore, Russia should be held accountable for that.
All right. Can we look at this 2025 budget and FG marking 55.5 billion naira for presidential air fleet? I thought we are done with presidential fleet. I thought we were done with that in 2024.
You see, sometimes some of these stories beat my imagination. If you look into this budget, you see even things that are even worse than this 55 billion a mark for presidential fleet. So this presidential fleet, there's always turnaround maintenance. There's always this and that. There's a lot of money pumped into presidential fleet, and this time around we're talking about 55 billion. This the presidential fleet, has it been converted into a commercial airline? Let me ask, if it's converted into a commercial airline that is now taking passengers from Enugu to Lagos, from Lagos to Abuja, from Abuja to Sokoto, then they will tell us. And this presidential fleet, you know the number of entourage that usually accompany the president to some of these foreign and trips and the local trips. It is unnecessary. We're talking about blocking leakages. We're talking about reducing cost of governance, and you still see many people on the presidential entourage for one assignment or the other. This is absolutely unnecessary. And the ASU, SANU, NASU, NAT are just fighting for just a little, a token to alleviate their sufferings. And NLC, the same thing, fighting for a token to alleviate their sufferings. But you hear trillions, billions being, plowed into some unuseful ventures.
All right, we are in Nigeria. We keep watching and see what actually will be unfolding in 2025. The Punch newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories coming from The Punch. Nigeria border towns live in fear over brewing row. With the rider there, communities in borders states plead for peaceful resolution, debunk Nigeria leaders' claim of French troops in Nigeria. CBN misappropriated 2.7 trillion naira interest on Ways and Means. That's coming from Auditor General. Okay, ex-U.S. President Jimmy Carter dies at 100. What a way to go home. Yeah. 100 years.
What a way to go home
go home at 100.
Jimmy Carter.
All right. I brought you back to life politically. Wike slams orderly. New Owa Oboku gets staff of office, begins right. And FG sympathizes with South Korea's 179 die in plane crash. Nigeria gets World Bank $1.5 billion for subsidy removal tax bills. In-laws defilement. Lagos challenges convicted doctors acquittal at Supreme Court. Senate gets a budget panel report January 31. All right, these are some of the stories making the headlines in front of the Punch newspaper.
So let's take the story of Jimmy Carter, one-time president of the United States of America. Yes.
That's a huge one, 100.
100 years, and we are praying for longevity. And not 100 years of shaky daddy. It was still 100 years of, the
Ezra Jews actually celebrated their mom, and I saw at 92, yes, the woman was still singing.
That's good.
Worshiping in church.
That's
so good. I was like, this woman, 92 years?
Yeah. So remember Jimmy Carter, just like what is happening today between Israel and her neighbors. Israel, Palestine, Israel, Gaza, Israel, Lebanon. Recall it was Jimmy Carter that brokered peace between Israel and Egypt. Israel and Egypt have been at war, but he brokered peace that even for the first time, an Arabian leader had to come and address the Israeli parliament for the first time in history. So that peace was brokered, and Egypt and Israel signed this popular Camp David Accord. Unfortunately, when the president of Egypt got back home, some extremists in the country were not happy about the accord, and he was assassinated. But that peace, the two parties had maintained that peace since then. But one thing that did not speak good of Qatar was an attempt to rescue some American citizens that were taken hostage by Iran in 1978-79. They stayed in Iranian custody for 400 days plus. And an attempt to rescue them ended in a disaster. A lot of American servicemen lost their lives. And when this man came for second tenure, when he wanted to contest for second tenure, he did not win that election. But he was later given a very important Nobel Peace Award because that singular act of uniting Israel and Egypt and the war between Israel and Egypt was
of course, as humans, we fall in some places, we rise in some places, and he's human too. Exactly. But we thank God for, giving him or allowing him to live an enviable years of 100. Is no mean feat. And we thank God he'll be fondly missed, by people, his family, and his nation for what he did for them. Okay, we move on now to the next paper for review, which is the Nation newspaper. Let's see stories on The Nation newspaper. Okay, we take two at a time this time around. The Nation and Blueprint. Okay, first of all, The Nation. Now, direct payment of allocation to councils begins next month. All obstacles cleared. Lagos to hold election in 20 councils, 37 LCDAs next year. The next year is 2 days from now.
Yeah.
All right, former U.S. president, we've seen that. That is at 100. NCC rules out telecom tariffs hike in January. Hastrop gets staff of office as Owa Oboko of Ijeshaland. INEC not set to fill vacant parliamentary seats. 2 plane crashes in 1 day claim 180 lives. Nigeria condoles with South Korea over 179 deaths. Weather causes disruption of flights at UK airport. Now, Edu Bagudu lists benefits of Saudi-Nigeria Pali. And of course, Defense Headquarters troops arrested 2 suspected terrorists, logistics suppliers, 256 others in 1 week. All right, let's see whether this will curb their menace. All right, the blueprint is next. Line up. Let's see the blueprint immediately before we talk. 2025 will be very tough for dealers of on fake food medicines. That's coming from NAFDAC. Seems they are strategizing, to meet up with their demands. Okay, second-hand car patronage booms amid forex volatility, high import duties. Elder statesman shouldn't be a sycophant. Wike fires back at Audley. Can we look at that story? We've seen it several in too many. It's like Wike and Audley this time around are going to fight.
I don't even know why, when these people are fighting, I should be bothered. I shouldn't be bothered when they're fighting because these are the people, holding the grassroots to ransom. So we shouldn't celebrate them. We shouldn't clap for them. We shouldn't encourage them. We shouldn't, be spectators because they have not told us the truth of what they're fighting for. You and I know that what these people are fighting for are the resources. These are all selfish fights.
All right. Let's see. Now that they are going to be very tough on dealers of fake drugs and food. And, recently there's this video trending where, there's a market that was closed in Abia State.
Yes.
Yes, Abia State recently, I think 2 weeks ago. A lot of fake things or fake products were discovered and destroyed. And, of course, the market was closed down. So now NAFDAC is trying to tell us that they're going to fight more come 2025.
Well, I love this coming from NAFDAC. 2025 will be tough for dealers in fake food, medicines. And I keep on saying that the late Professor Dora Akinle, the pioneering role she did in NAFDAC opened the eyes of Nigerians. And since her exit, NAFDAC has not really been the same NAFDAC we know. So people like us become conscious of looking for expiry dates on products. People like us became conscious of, ascertaining where this product was produced, the content of this product, what this product contains and things like that, because of sensitization from NAFDAC. And even NAFDAC officials at our entry, post, we are really up and doing to make sure that food that are not good or unauthorized medicines were not brought into the country. So if NAFDAC has woken up from its slumber and in 2025, we say kudos to them. We'll watch and see how it's going to be. NAFDAC should do more. There are a lot of fake products, fake medicines, fake drinks, fake foods circulating here and there. And people are contacting one form of disease or the other. People are dying for causes that you don't even know. And some of these causes has to do with the contaminated products, with fake products that are flooding our markets.
All right, we look up to NAFDAC to fulfill their, what they have just said. Let's watch and see how that plays out. And on this note, we'd like to thank you so much for coming this morning. Comrade Bonnie Ozonkwako. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Noye, and thank you all the members of ABS crew.
All right, that's how we wrap up the press.